Hey everybody, it's me, Bree. Hi, it is Monday, February 20th, President's Day, 3-day weekend, yay. I wanted to talk, I wanted to make this video, about a little bit about my experience with diabetes so far. It is super sucky. Having diabetes sucks. And, part of my thing was that I wanted, nobody on YouTube ever really talks about having diabetes, or at least type 2 diabetes, I should say. And, my diabetes is a lot because of my diet, but also because of my PCOS. So what happened was I was diagnosed about almost 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years next month in March, in a couple of weeks. But basically, I ended up in the emergency room with pain in my lower abdomen. And it was on my side with my appendix, and I was like super scared that I was getting appendicitis because that's bad, right? So I ended up in the emergency room, and they did a CAT scan, and they were like, oh, a cyst on your ovary burst, and it just happens sometimes, so sorry, here's some pain medication. But while I was in there, they tested my blood sugar, and it was like off the charts high, and they were like, well, why has your doctor not been treating you for this? And I'm like, well, I don't have insurance. So they were like, well, you're diabetic. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not diabetic. And they're like, yes, you are. You're diabetic. Here's a prescription for some diabetes medication and a glucose monitor and strips. So that's how I became a diabetic. So that's that. When I was first diagnosed, after the emergency room, I ended up at a doctor, like a general practitioner, I guess. Since I didn't have insurance, it was like a based on your income type clinic. I just went to a clinic that helps people with no insurance, and they ran all the blood tests. They said, oh, your blood pressure's so high, we think you're going to have a heart attack. And they freaked me out and put me on all this medication for my cholesterol, for my heart, and basically was like, yeah, you're going to stay on this diabetes medication because they test your A1C, which is your blood sugar levels over about a 3-month period. It averages it out, and I'm not sure what the top of the scale is. I probably should research that, but it was pretty high. My A1C was an 8 point something, and they say anything over a 6 is considered diabetic. So I was at an 8, which isn't like extremely bad, but not good. Then I was like, okay, well, this really sucks, but I'm going to get my diet under control, and I'm going to do exercise, and I'm going to get skinny, right? Well, I did okay for a while, about 3 months, and then, well, I guess for a little bit longer, maybe 4 or 5 months. Anyway, so then I found I got insurance. It was like less than a month later, I got insurance through my job because I was like on a probationary thing when I went to the hospital and all that. And so I didn't actually have insurance, but it was like about to have insurance. Anyway, that's besides the fact. I found my primary care physician that I was going to for a while, and my next A1C was good. It was a 5.8, which is under the 6, but you have to keep it there in order to be in remission. And just slowly over the course of months and a year, it's just been creeping back up. at the end of last year, when did I go? October of 2016. I was at, sorry, I'm looking at my notes here right below me. I was at a 6.7, which still isn't bad. It's, you know, still diabetic, whatever. And when I went in January, I was devastated because it came back as a 7.6, which is almost to where I started out at. Of course, it was the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. I kind of just let myself go and say, yeah, go ahead and eat whatever you want. What's it going to matter anyway? We've all been there, right? In our heads. So, like, oh, I let myself have a little bit, and then I let myself have a little bit more, and then it was just out of control, and I gave up. So, yeah. I go back for another test, so actually I might go back, get one sooner, but my next appointment with my regular doctor is in April. But my first consultation with the weight loss surgeon is Thursday, the 23rd? Yeah, the 23rd. So I'll be making another video about that experience later this week. But right now, like I'm really bad about testing my blood sugar every day on my own because it's annoying and I hate it and it's painful. But every time, like since this last checkup, my doctor put me on a second diabetes medication. And I don't feel like it's helping. And right now I have a little card from the manufacturer that I get it for free, but that's only good for a year. So in December, that'll be the last time. And then if they want to start charging me $60 a month for one medication, then I feel like it's not even working. But right now I am on metformin, which is the standard. I am on 2,000 milligrams a day. When I first was diagnosed, I started out at 500 milligrams a day, and I'm up to 2,000. And then on top of that, I have this other medication that is so expensive. It just blows me out. So that is one of my hopes for this surgery and this whole thing is hopefully to get my diabetes into remission and get off all of these stupid medications that are expensive and I feel like don't really work for me. I want to get my A1C down, obviously, and be off all of those meds. Actually, I want to be off all my meds. Heart pressure, blood pressure, what's the other one? Cholesterol, all that stuff. I want to be off of it by the end of the year. For one, I can't really afford it after that. But, yeah, so diabetes sucks. Some of my diabetes symptoms are, I have what is it called? The diabetic neuropathy, where I have the pins and needles and burning sensations in my, I get it mostly in my feet and my lower legs, and sometimes I get it in my fingers and hands, but mostly in my feet. It's really painful and awful, and it used to only happen when I ate bad, when I ate the carbs and sugary things, which I'm not a big sugar person, but give me some mashed potatoes and you won't see them again. It used to only happen really bad when I would eat bad, but now it's happening all the time, even when I'm eating good, like right now. Yeah, in preparation for what I know is about to come from the advice of other YouTubers, I've started trying to practice and like get into the habit of things like eating slower, taking smaller bites, chewing my food better, not drinking while I eat, and I've put myself back on a low carb diet, and because I know on Thursday they're going to tell me I need to go on a diet before they'll do surgery. So that's what I've been doing this week. So far, so good. The drinking while not eating part is going to be the hardest thing for me, I feel, because I don't know. I just feel like I need the moisture because I have chronic dry mouth because of all the medications I'm on. So I'm always feeling thirsty. Right now I'm pretty optimistic. I mean, because of the diabetes, I've been dealing with the head hunger issue for a couple of years now. Like, I know I'm not supposed to eat those mashed potatoes. I know I'm not supposed to eat those macaronis and cheeses and all that stuff. And it's hard, and most of the time I find that I can resist. It's when I'm around my boyfriend, like, I know this is weird to say, but sometimes I'm like, if he gives himself permission to do something, then I give myself permission to do something, because he's been pretty good about doing these diet changes with me. He's into the keto diet, and it's worked for both of us in the past, but of course it's the minute you stop, I start regaining, I start bloating back up. I've put myself back on the low carb diet even before the doctor says so, and so far so good. I'm doing okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. I will be doing another video after my first consult, so stay tuned. And if you want to subscribe, go ahead. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can. It's Free the Brie on Instagram. I post pictures of food like everybody else. And I mean, that's my personal account as well, so you might see pictures of my boyfriend or his daughter, or, you know, weird things that we do. Anyway, I hope everybody's had a great weekend. I'll see you soon.